Never-ending energy is closer than you think. How can never-ending renewable energy, which once appeared like a stupid idea, become a reality? And which countries are leading the way? How could amazing technology solve the problem of storing energy from sources like the sun and the wind? Which surprising compounds are scientists researching to replace fossil fuels? And when can we expect renewable energy to replace fossil fuels? And how will this massive transformation affect the entire world order? Hey folks, welcome back to TechVerse. We are back with another interesting video. Today, we're going to talk about never-ending energy, and it's closer than you think. So without any further ado, let's get into the video right away. There are two seemingly ideal pursuits that have occupied human minds for millennia: the desire to live forever and eternal life. Cryonically freezing corpses to bring the dead back to life, renewing human cells, and uploading one's thoughts to the cloud are just some of the methods scientists, philosophers, and billionaires have tried to find an elixir of life. However, this is also true. A renewable form of energy, it does not rely on fossil fuels and does not have an impact on future generations. Moreover, while the pursuit of everlasting life by one individual may be seen as individualistic, the potential for everlasting sustainable energy might benefit all of our lives in immensely large ways. It has always been a matter of life and death for humans to ensure an adequate supply of energy, but we have previously relied on finite resources that actually hasten our planet's demise. Sally Benson, Stanford University's Precourt Institute for Energy co-director and director of the university's Global Climate and Energy Initiative, says, "We live on a small planet. There are many of us, and we must think about our environmental responsibility." She feels we've reached a tipping point in our understanding of and ability to utilize energy. It's time to shift our mindset from one of the dominating nature into one of cooperating with it in order to protect the planet. After the global pandemic, the economy and transportation are starting to get back on their feet. This gives us a chance to stop and think about what kind of energy system we should be building. It's time for us to face our own mortality in the face of an indiscriminate virus and consider how our indiscriminate taking has impacted the health of the world. This big reset allows us to implement aggressive, forward-looking, and long-term plans. In our quest for perpetual existence, we must also be aware that unless we find a way to sustainably and inexhaustibly power our communities, Earth's inhabitants would be gone. While we now know that the 21st century fear of oil and gas running out will not be realized for decades, the need to stop using virgin fossil resources entirely has never been more pressing. According to Roberto Baca, head of energy and materials at the World Economic Forum, this big reset provides us the option to undertake proactive, forward-thinking, and long-term initiatives leading to diversified, safe, and reliable energy system. What does never-ending energy look like? We've dealt with energy in the same manner since the first modern oil well was tapped in Titusville, Pennsylvania in 1859. In fact, since Paleolithic humans burned wood for heat, warmth, and as a way to cook food, we've utilized whatever energy is available without feeling a need to replace it at the same pace we're using it. Fossil fuels have been used as if they were an endless supply that could be mined and burned without regard for the long-term effects. 2/3 of the world's man-made carbon dioxide emissions are now attributed to energy usage and production. As energy consumption rises by 1% per year through 2040, we also know that the supply can't come from harmful sources like coal and gas. So that hydrocarbons in the Earth's crust are not removed, researchers and businesses alike are working to find ways to harness rather than destroy nature's power. That mentality is the key to accessing infinite renewable energy. Until recently, it was considered that solar and wind power facilities couldn't produce renewable energy at the rate they do today. However, these approaches alone are not sufficient to meet our ever-increasing energy needs. Aside from power, we need options for transportation and raw materials that don't rely on fossil fuels as much. We need a variety of innovative technologies to help us transition away from fossil fuels and toward an energy supply that never runs out, many of which will come from renewable sources and adhere to the circular economy. How could we harness the oversupply of sunlight for eternal energy? A year's worth of global energy needs can be satisfied by catching just 2 minutes of sunlight, and industry and academia are attempting to test this concept. For as long as the sun shines, we'll have solar energy. And solar energy comes in many forms when the light shines, explains Sally Benson. In other words, the goal and difficulty is how to utilize that resource. The sun's endless energy can be harnessed in a variety of ways, including solar panels. Other revolutionary technologies, now utilized in small-scale initiatives but capable of becoming more reliable, wide-scale alternatives, can be used to use solar energy not only for electricity but also for fueling transportation and creating raw materials. Some concepts are still being developed, tinkered with, and tested in laboratories all around the world with enormous potential for combating climate change in the future. What are the most promising energy solutions to tackle climate change? One of the drawbacks of using renewable energy sources for power is that they can only be harvested when the sun is shining, and it's difficult to store. Even though it's fine during the daytime, modern life necessitates a power supply available at all times. However, this storage issue is now a distant memory. At Stanford University's Precourt Institute for Energy, lithium-ion batteries are becoming less expensive and can play an outstanding role in balancing solar energy during the day and storing it for usage at least partway through the night. It is possible for storing wind power in lithium-ion batteries generated by wind turbines. The capacity of lithium-ion batteries might be increased by as much as 30%, according to a theory put out by researchers at the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology. The use of batteries to store energy isn't the only option. Power-to-X, or P2X, is one of the most promising technologies for storing enormous amounts of renewable energy in a useful manner. By splitting water molecules into oxygen and hydrogen using solar or wind power, breakthrough technology generates emission-free renewable hydrogen. Our carbon dioxide problem may be transformed into fuels, chemicals, and materials with lower carbon footprints by using CO2 as a feedstock and using renewable energy in the P2X process. P2X technology could assist to smooth out the volatility in nature's energy supply by creating synthetic fuels. In addition, we could transform the fuel's energy into materials that could be recycled and returned to the value chain, creating a positive feedback loop. Which countries are leading the way to eternal energy? Most of the progress towards a more sustainable energy future is being done in the developed countries, as one would expect. According to the World Economic Forum, Sweden, Switzerland, Finland, Denmark, and Norway are the 5 countries best prepared for the energy transition. What part do plants, plastic, and space play in tapping into eternal energy? Almost 360 million tons of plastic were produced around the world in 2018. More than 62 million tons of plastic waste were thrown away in Europe, of which about 10% was recycled, according to Plastics Europe. In many other places of the world, the situation is far worse. To produce new polymers, Nestle is exploring the use of liquid plastic waste as a raw material. The company's goal is to reuse hydrocarbons by converting them into the building blocks for new, high-quality virgin products. You can also make hydrocarbons in a lab by splitting water into its parts to make hydrogen. The hydrogen can then be mixed with carbon dioxide to make hydrocarbons like methane. This technology is called power-to-gas. The solution to never-ending energy may also be found in a galaxy far, far away, in space. As Benson points out, one of the things we rarely think about is the Earth's greater heat than deep space. The Earth is constantly emitting energy into the universe. Using a substance that radiates at the same wavelength as the Earth would allow us to cool the material down significantly. You can produce an energy gradient by surrounding a cold object with warm air. These are devices that generate energy by having one cold and one hot, and to generate a current, explains Benson. Would never-ending create a future of equal opportunities? Circularity-based technologies have the potential to dramatically lower the cost of energy if we had access to an infinite supply. Energy poverty, which inhibits individuals from growing in society and gaining access to essentials like the internet, heating, and light, would be reduced. Small-scale, hypothetical, or preparations for an energy future that seems distant and remote may appear to be some of these projects. Nonetheless, it's essential that we plan for the future. When it comes to the human energy system, everything we do is going to have an influence, says Benson. Fortunately, even though energy demand rises 1% annually, technical advancement appears to be accelerating exponentially. Sustainable, limitless energy sources are within our grasp if we work together and concentrate our efforts. So this was all about this video. I hope you like the information in it. Make sure you give us a comment, like, share, and subscribe to get more videos like this, and hit the bell icon on the way out. Thanks for watching!